Hi, welcome to your healthy hips and lower body mobility practice. Today we're going to be working into the hips, the hamstrings, just all over lower body, really helping to open up through the areas of tension that a lot of us hold stresses. So we will start off on our backs in a Supta Baddha variation. So if you do have blocks accessible, gently place the blocks underneath your kneecaps. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Spread your knees apart. Soften the spine down onto your mat. Close the eyes. Slowly draw your attention onto the breath. Noticing the rising and falling sensation of your breath in your body. Take a big breath in, fill up. And an audible exhale, sigh it out. As you move through the practice today, honoring where your body is, never forcing any of these postures or poses, and never beating yourself up if you aren't able to meet yourself in that pose. This is a practice, and that's why we call it a yoga practice. The more often you do these poses and postures, the more open your body will become. And gently, as you feel ready, bring your knees into your chest. Grab for your shins with your palms and spread your knees apart, drawing circles with the kneecaps in opposite direction. Giving the low back a little massage. And when you feel ready, switching the directions of the kneecaps. And then slowly bring the knees back into the chest. Rock the knees over to the right, taking just an easy supine twist here, nothing crazy. Allow the left arm to extend along beside you. Maybe you cactus the left arm and trace your gaze over to the left. Breath in and breath out. Easily begin to draw your knees back to the chest. And then rock the hips over to the right. Drop your knees to the left. Easy twist. Allow the right shoulder to melt down. Relax any tensions through the face. Slowly bring the knees back to your chest. Begin to rock and roll the length of your spine. If you're not feeling this kind of energetic transition, you can always just shift your weight over to the side and press yourself up. We're going to all meet in a neutral tabletop position. On your breath in, dip your belly down, gaze ahead for cow pose. Exhale, press through your palms, gaze back between your thighs. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Allowing your breath to guide you between these two poses. Keeping the eyes closed, staying with that inner stillness that we cultivated earlier on. And then return back to center. Inhale, lift your right kneecap up, keeping the knee bent, toes flexed. Begin to draw circles through the right hip. Almost like you're giving your hip a little morning yawn. And then slowly draw your right foot up and over, planting the right foot down. Breathe in to lift through the chest. And then exhale, find a one-legged child's pose. So your right leg is extended out long. Crawl your fingertips towards the top of your space. Allow your forehead to rest down. You can always place blocks underneath the torso for a little bit more support. And then inhale, press down through your palms, guide your right leg back. Soften the right knee down and switch it out. Breathing in through the left hip this time, bending through the left knee, circling out through the hip. And then slide your left foot over, soften the left toes down, breathe in to lift the heart. Exhale, one-legged child's pose. On your breath in, find length through the side body. And on your exhale, just soften into this posture, relaxing the shoulders away from your ears. And breathing in to the inner thigh on the left leg. On your next breath in, round yourself back up. Release your left knee down, return to your tabletop. And then tuck your toes, send your hips high to the sky, finding yourself in your first downward facing dog of practice. Maybe you bend one knee and then the other, kind of pedaling out through your downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, find stillness. Pressing down through the palms, allowing your head and neck, all the tension that you're carrying around in your upper body to just release. Breathe in and breathe out. Ever so softly begin to walk your palms to the back of your space, releasing into your ragdoll pose. So take a generous bend through the knees. Allow the torso to just drape over your thighs, catch for opposite elbow, and let the head and neck hang heavy. If it calls to you, you can invite slow movements in from side to side. Or maybe you interlace your hands at the base of your skull to help kind of give a little bit more of a gentle compression through the upper back and upper neck. And then slowly release your grip, Plant the left hand down. Inhale, bend through the left knee, open through the right fingertips, finding a little ragdoll twist. Peel the right shoulder up, open through the heart, and then exhale, release. Inhale, find a halfway lift, finding length through the spine, and then exhale, forward fold. Switching it out, planting your right palm down, lifting the left fingertips high this time. Peeling the left shoulder, left chest open, bending through your right knee. Slowly release this on your next breath out. Inhale, halfway lift. Then exhale, walk yourself forward to your high plank position, top of a push-up. Option to soften the knees down, and on your breath out, slowly ride your exhale all the way down to the belly. Slide your palms underneath your shoulders. Press down through your hips. Inhale, cobra pose. Peel your heart open. Exhale, release your forehead down. Inhale, open through the heart, cobra. On your breath out, forehead meets your mat. Inhale, press down through your palms. Return back to your neutral tabletop before extending yourself back to downward facing dog. Inhale, elevate your right heel. Exhale, step your right foot to the top of your space, locating your blocks if you'd like a little bit more support. Finding yourself in a low lunge, softening the left knee and untucking your left toes. Guide your blocks towards your hips, and then just play around with the sensation in the front left psoas, the right hips. Being gentle and kind to your body. And then slowly slide your right foot to the top right corner of your mat. Begin to descend into your lizard or runner's lunge. So if it feels supportive to you, you can place blocks inside of the right foot. Allow the forearms to relax on your blocks. Release the tension from your neck and your head. And close your eyes. Take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. Softly begin to press back into your palms, lift through the heart, and then exhale, crawl your fingertips towards the left side of your mat. Feet become parallel to one another. Inhale, find a halfway lift through the spine. Then exhale, descend into your wide-legged forward folds. From here, you can crawl your fingertips towards the back of your space to help deepen through the fold. Or option again to interlace the hands at the base of your skull, draw your elbows towards one another, and just allow gravity to do its thing here. And gently begin to press back through the palms. Find a halfway lift and crawl yourself forwards, planting your palms, stepping your right leg back. Option to flow through a vinyasa. We'll all meet in our downward facing dog. And then on your breath in, bring the left leg high, and exhale. Guide your left knee towards your nose and step your left foot through. Bring your right knee down and untuck your right toes. Again, here just finding movement and gentle mobility into the hips, feeling the nice stretch through the right psoas, playing around. And once you're ready, guiding the left foot to the top left corner of your mat, softening down to your runner's lunge. Oftentimes the hips can be an area that are neglected in the body. So holding these sustained, gentle stretches can bring up quite a bit of tension and discomfort. But can you embrace this moment? With every exhalation, allow the tension to release and soften into the pose. On your breath in, press yourself back to your palms, lift the heart, and then crawl yourself over to the right, finding yourself in your wide-legged forward fold again. Breathing in, find a halfway lift. Option to stay in your wide-legged forward fold, or if you'd like a inner hip, inner thigh stretch, slowly descend down, spreading the knees apart, letting the chest and the forehead relax down to your mat. You can release the forehead down or bring your gaze to one side so the left or right cheek are planted down in front of you. Finding peace and stillness and discomfort. And doing this in our yoga practice, we're also allowing ourselves to translate this into the discomfort and anything that arises in our daily lives. So when adversity arises, difficult, challenging life events come up, we're training our minds here to be able to handle any of those situations. Breathe in and breathe out. Begin to rise back into your palms and press your hips back high for your wide-legged forward fold, walking your palms back, sending your left leg back in space, lowering halfway if you choose to flow through your vinyasa. Inhale, peel the heart open. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a slow breath out. Begin to soften your knees down to your mats. Come to seated on your sits bones. Bend your knees, soles of the feet down. And then windshield wiper, rocking the knees from side to side. So your fingertips will face away from you. Hands are planted behind you. And just inviting movements into the hips. And then slowly return back to center, keeping your left foot planted. Guide the right ankle on top of the left thigh for a seated pigeon position. Gently rocking the lower body from side to side, just exploring the different areas of the right hip. Maybe finding stillness in areas that are particularly sticky. And then release your right foot back down. Inhale, plant through the palms, lift the heart. Find a reverse tabletop just to open up through the chest, the shoulders. And slowly exhale, release your sits bones down and switch out your seated pigeon pose, guiding the left foot, left ankle to the right thigh. Inviting movement in if it calls you. And slowly begin to release the left foot. Extend your legs out long, finding ourselves into our caterpillar pose. Reach your arms up high on your breath in, and on your exhale, leading with your heart, slowly begin to guide your palms to the bottom of your feet, your ankles or calves. If you have a lot of low back sensitivity in this posture, feel free to slide blocks underneath your kneecaps to kind of help give a little bit more release through the low back. And just allow the upper body to soften. Release your hamstrings, your calves, all the way to your ankles and toes. Take a breath in and a deep breath out. Inhale, begin to rise back up. And exhale, slowly descend all the way onto your spine, guiding the knees back towards your chest. Planting your feet down to your mat, keeping your knees bent. Slowly lift the hips up and slide a block underneath the sacrum, so right below the low back. Feeling supported. There shouldn't be any pinching in the low back, so play around with the placement of the block until you feel kind of a nice release through the front hips. You can keep the feet as is, or walk the feet towards the top of your space. Allow the toes to fall out and really release and open through the front of the body. Relax through the hips and the glutes, the quads. And slowly walk your feet back up if they're extended. Release the block from underneath you. Bend your knees, knock your knees towards one another, and walk your feet to the wide edges of your mat, finding yourself in a broken bridge. Placing one hand on the belly, the other on the heart. Just taking a moment to feel the opening and lightness through the hips and the hamstrings. Allowing the benefits of sitting in stillness in these lower body poses to just integrate. And then gently bring the knees into the chest, finding yourself in your happy baby pose. Being gentle, maybe rocking from side to side. And when you feel ready, there is no rush. Slowly bring the knees back into the chest. Begin to take up as much space as you need, so extend your legs and arms out long, maybe finding your blocks and placing them underneath the kneecaps. Setting yourself up for the most comfortable position to really bask in our final resting posture. Taking note of how the body feels. Relaxing down the eyes, softening the face muscles. Take a breath in and a breath out. This is where I will leave you today in our practice. Feel free to stay resting as long as you need. I will see you in the next class. Namaste.